you know, I am generous like that. So hello guys, welcome back to Sandra's Shelf. Today's video is 15 morning routine ideas for a productive morning and day. So mornings are truly hard for the most of us. I know 3 to 4 years back, mornings were unbearable for me to the point where I just did not want to have them anymore. I just was like, I'm gonna wake up at 11. I don't care. I don't care if I miss school. I don't care if I miss anything. I just can't. Unless I really had to wake up at any time in the morning, I would force myself and I'd be miserable. But besides that, I refused to wake up. I was living a very unhealthy lifestyle, and that's why I'm here today to talk to you about how I changed that. As I said, I would wake up late, I would wake up unmotivated, I'd wake up grumpy, I'd wake up tired, exhausted, etc. I only got to fully enjoy my mornings the moment I changed all of my habits and routines. Now I'm the most happiest and most productive that I've ever been because I have a morning routine, because I'm up from bed every morning at around the same time. But if you told me that back in university, my first few years of university, I would have laughed in anyone's face if they told me I'd be like a super productive morning person. I'd be like, there's no way, that's never gonna happen to me. So before we go into the morning routine ideas, I need to establish first, how did I even come about forming a morning routine idea if I was so miserable in the morning and if I would wake up late in the mornings? I knew that I needed 3 things: a fixed sleeping schedule, I needed to wake up early, and I needed a productive morning routine. In this video, I'm not going to the first 2, which is having a fixed sleep schedule and waking up early, but if you want to know how, I do have 2 separate blog posts on the matter that I'll link down below. So a blog post telling you the 5 healthy night habits you need to incorporate to have a better sleep and a more fixed sleep, and then the second blog post is obviously how to wake up early and not feel exhausted and not hate it. So if you want to profit from those sources, they'll be down below. But today we're going to talk about the 15 productive morning routine ideas that actually help me stay productive in my mornings. So the first thing to do in the morning is to make your bed. Now listen to this. Up until 2021, I never used to make my bed as diligently as I do now. I used to wake up in the morning. If I felt like it, I would. If not, it would just be scrambled with all the blankets, all the covers, all the pillows everywhere. But I read this book by Admiral McRaven, which is Make Your Bed, in which he explains the importance of making your bed. And since then, I've been making my bed every day. If you want to learn more about this book, I will link it down below. And I will also link his little TED Talk, I believe, so you can understand a little bit what's going on. It's very short, but it's really truly inspiring and motivating. It's the book that got me to make my bed. This is why this is Sandra's Shelf, because I believe that a book can change your life. It can transform our life, our habits. All we gotta do is to actually apply the concept and actually read the book and talk about the book and see how it inspired other people. So there we go. So now the second thing to do before having a cup of coffee or tea is to have a glass of water. Having a glass of water is ideal because your body and your metabolism needs water after it's waken up and it has spent the last 8 hours working for you. In the morning, even if you don't feel thirsty or not, you're mostly dehydrated, and that's why it's good to hydrate. Plus, water helps you with brain functioning, so that's why it's the best thing to have as soon as you wake up in the morning. Now that you have your glass of water or a bottle of water like I do, it's time for you to have your coffee or tea. Obviously, coffee and tea stimulates you. I know personally for me and for other people, if I don't have my cup of coffee in the morning, do not talk to me, do not interrupt me, do not invade my space. Let me have my cup of coffee, then I'll be the nicest, most productive person in the world. Hopefully. The fourth thing to do is to get some fresh air. I love getting some fresh air in the morning. I don't do this often, but I should. I should take a walk in the morning because that's really good. It stimulates everything in your body, it stimulates your mind, it refreshes you, it wakes you up. You get to see the sun for the first time, or just the lightness of being outside. But to compensate, as soon as the weather is nice out, I normally do my morning work and routine outside or have my morning coffee outside, especially in the springtime and summer. I live in Canada personally, so it's hard because we do not have consistent weather. Like literally it could be summer and like it's freezing one day and the next day it's raining, and the third day we're in a massive heat wave. So but I still try to get some fresh air somehow in the morning, even like cracking up a window, but it's still not the same as going outside physically. Getting some fresh air in the morning is perfect because you're getting exposed to some more oxygen. I believe in the Victorian era they would not go to sleep without opening the doors, because obviously when you're in the house and you're just staying in the house, you basically all you do is consume your own toxicity, basically all the things that you emit. So for people not to be sick, they would literally always like sleep with open windows. I don't know how they do it. We could never do that in Canada. To combat those toxic energies and whatever fumes that we produce, we can open the window from time to time, or we can even take a walk outside, take a stroll, whatever it is. So do that, and I will do that more often as well. So let's make a pact together and let's start getting some more fresh air, because I am pale this season. I'm not gonna lie, I am pale. Even if I go outside, even if I do go outside, I just sit underneath the patio and I'm like secured from the sun because I'm kind of scared of the sun, but we'll talk about that on another video. Fifth thing to do in the morning is to exercise. Now listen, in the past I used to think that people that exercise in the morning are either, because who would do that to themselves in the morning? But it's because I did not understand and I did never feel good in the morning. So it's completely shifted for me. I can exercise now in the morning and it feels great. It feels amazing. It actually kickstarts my entire day as well. Exercise in the morning if you can. Sometimes it's better to exercise in the morning because when you put it off in your day, it doesn't matter if you're working from home or outside of the home. At the end of the day, you might just be too exhausted to even try to attempt working out or exercising, whatever it is. Sometimes actually it's the perfect time for people, you know, they wake up an hour earlier in the morning and they do their exercise and they're ready for the day. Also, why would you not want to exercise? Like, it literally releases endorphins. So I don't know about you, but you know, winter depression sometimes or summer depression sometimes, I just need all of those little endorphins, you know, so I will exercise. Numero 6 is to make a healthy breakfast. So some people don't find breakfast necessary, but the way I eat, I stop eating at like 5-6 p.m. So by the time I wake up, I do some of these morning routine ideas. I am famished, so I need to make sure that I eat something healthy, and normally I have it already planned in my head. It's normally just some eggs and fruits, and it's delicious and it's healthy and it sustains me all the way to lunchtime. So that's what I recommend doing. It's so good to just, you know, have that like 15 minutes to truly enjoy a healthy, nourishing breakfast before you start your day. Because sometimes I feel like people say they don't want to eat breakfast or they don't like breakfast because they don't have time for it. So come around noon, their like stomach is like grumbling like crazy, and like in the last hour they can't focus because they're hungry or they're hangry because they haven't eaten anything. So you know what, evaluate your day, evaluate your life, and ask yourself, are you skipping breakfast because you want to skip breakfast, or are you skipping breakfast because you don't have time? Also, if you're really into health and nutrition and you really want to lose some weight as well, you can also look down below because I have a blog post about simple 3-ingredient breakfast ideas for keto breakfast. So that can help save you some time if you want to have something quick and easy to eat in the breakfast time. There you go, I have some options there for you, and you have all the calories set already for you because, you know, I am generous like that. So enjoy those resources. Honestly, I write them for you and for me because I tend to forget all the healthy tips that I read about. Number 7 productive morning routine ideas is to journal. I love journaling. I don't normally do it in the morning times. I mostly do it at nighttime, but there have been mornings where I feel like I needed to journal and I needed to process some emotions before going into the day. So journaling is the better alternative than scrolling on social media. I don't think I need to explain that. And social media, you just get overwhelmed, you get stressed, you get that boost of anxiety. While journaling, you're hyper focused on your own self and on your life and how to better your life. With social media, you're crowded with everyone else's illusion of perfect lives that makes you feel worse in the morning, and we don't want to feel worse in the morning. This is a productive, inspired morning routine idea. So journal instead of social media. As usual, I have another blog post for you, and it's about journaling and how journaling is beneficial for your mental health, so you can also read that. And please let me know if any of these separate blog posts you would like me to transform into a video format, because that's basically what I'm doing. I'm transforming my blog posts into video for you, for people that don't like to read much, they just like to listen and watch videos. So there you go. If you ever want to see something, then you just gotta comment and reach out to me, and I will try my best to make it in a video format or a written format, or even both. The 8th thing that I do in the morning after journaling is writing a to-do list. Now this is basically, my to-do list is attached to my journal because I see it, I always have it on my desk, and I just go about my day going through the to-do list. To-do lists are really important because they can help you distinguish what's really important versus from what you can hold off in the day. As well as it's important because sometimes we do forget what we have to do, even if it's a really small task, but writing it down, you have it there at the forefront and you're not going to ignore it. 9th thing to do in the morning, which is my favorite thing to do in the morning, is reading. Now, if you see my 21 books to read in 2021 videos, you'll know that I have a lot of books and I read a lot of books a year. I read 75 to 100 books a year, and it's something that's important to me. It's something I love doing. Basically, reading is a big thing in my life, whether it be nonfiction or fiction books. And the way that I sustain my reading habits is basically by incorporating in my routine. So reading half an hour to an hour in the morning, half an hour to an hour at night changes everything, and it's what makes you able to actually read 1 to 2 books a week, and therefore 100 books a year. So pro tip. Plus, the other reason to read in the morning is because it reduces your stress and anxiety and occupies your mind for other things besides, whatever you have to do for school and work and whatever. It kind of just gives you that little blanket space to just be and read something else and be in another mental space to calm down in order to rehabilitate you in your day. The 10th productive thing I like to do in the morning, which is not for everyone, is writing. I write fiction, I write nonfiction, I write blog posts, I write so many different things. I write every single day of my life. So therefore, writing is a big one. I love writing in the morning now because, it's just focused work. There's less interruptions. You just can do your writing without people interrupting you, calling you, texting you, sending you stuff on social media, etc. Not that I get any of those because I have everything on silent, mute, no notification on my phone for that reason. But even living with people, they'll just start talking to you or asking you things and be around you, and it can be distracting for writers. So yeah, I love writing. It's such a good practice to have. Writing connects me with myself. It challenges me. It pushes me to think deeper. It pushes me to write better every single day. So that's why it's on this list. The 11th thing might sound weird, but bear with me. The 11th thing to do is to play audio. I've come across a lot of YouTube videos, like those self-help videos, etc. I'm not gonna judge them because literally that's what I'm doing also on my channel. That would be very hypocritical from me. But there's one thing I don't really agree with, and it's that you should swap all audio for podcast listening. And I think that's really harmful. I think that's not good because there is still value in listening to some music, You don't have to be consuming information 24/7 either, because that's also a way to burn you out and stress you out. Those people that say you should only be listening to podcasts every time you're listening to something, how? We're human beings. We need art. We need to listen to all these music genres to help us keep inspired and motivated. For me, music personally elevates my mood. When I do any kind of writing, I have music on the background, and not just background music, any kind of music. I think playing audio is another way to stimulate your brain, to stimulate your creativity and your inspiration. So I highly recommend. If you do not want to listen to music, then like I said, you have podcasts, you have YouTube videos that you can listen to, you have also audiobooks that you can listen to. So there's so many ways to listen to audio. You know, if you're not really wanting to read or you're on the go or something, it's such a great practice to have in the morning. I'm going to share with you 3 audiobooks recommendation. We have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's basically a fiction book about a fictional rock band in the 70s, I believe. I just read this book this year and I forgot. And the audiobook version is pretty good because it feels really real. It feels like the book is through interview style, so you really feel like these characters from this so-called band, Daisy Jones and the Six, are actually real characters, so I recommend that. The second book that I recommend is Circe by Madeline Miller. Madeline Miller's books are really highly acclaimed for people that like, you know, Greek myths in a different context that have been fictionalized and adapted. And this book is really, really, really beautiful to read, really interesting. All of her books are really popular right now if you look at TikTok and whatnot. And the third and final book that I want to recommend is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Just because we're talking about morning routine ideas, here's a book for you that will help you establish good and healthy habits and how to stick with them. So Atomic Habits, if you haven't already read it, because I know almost everyone has read it or heard it through audiobook, here's another recommendation for you. The 12th productive thing I do in the morning is to check my emails. And I do this because if I don't check my emails every day and every morning, they will pile up. And I have at least 5 to 10 separate email accounts. I just sort through them quickly. I read through the important ones and I delegate the ones that I don't want to read for another day. So that's what I do. It's a healthy habit to have in the morning. It's really productive. It makes me feel like on top of my day. And I remember in university, it was a thing that I had to do every single morning because you never know when your professor would email you and be like, please bring this document to class, or please show up to class on time because we're starting an exam, or whatever it is. Email was always the number one correspondence for university and for jobs too, right? So you want to be on top of things. That's why it's always good to check your emails in the morning and even at nighttime, but especially in the morning because you'll always catch something that you haven't caught in the nighttime. Now, the 13th productive morning routine idea I do every morning is networking. I kind of can't go about my life anymore without networking in general. I'm not talking about scrolling on social media. I'm talking about like actual networking where, you know, I check my Pinterest, I check my analytics, I check if I have pins going out, then I go and check Facebook groups to see, you know, if I have to complete something, if I have to answer some questions, whatever it is. And then, you know, look at TikTok, I need to look at YouTube, my 2 YouTube channels, and etc. So networking is a really important one. It helps me keep focus on top of my day. It's good to have habits that are consistent through every day in the everyday routine, so you just don't forget to do something and you don't feel overwhelmed halfway through the day because you forgot something. So that's a thing that I do. I do a lot of networking in the morning. The before last thing to do is my skincare routine. Now, before I never used to do anything for my skincare, but now I am a changed woman and I am also a growing woman. I'm reaching my mid-20s and I am learning sooner rather than later that if I don't take care of my skin and if I don't take care of my face especially, I will see some things that I do not want to see on my face. So basically, skincare routine, which can involve anything. It's personal to everyone's person. It's not a thing just for women, it's a thing for men as well. I don't understand why men are not able to have a skincare routine. Like, everyone needs a skincare routine. Like, your skin is your skin. Like, it's like going outside in the sun. Obviously you need some sunscreen. Everyone needs some sunscreen. Like, anyways, my skincare routine in the morning goes a little bit like this. I have face wash where I wash my face. Sometimes I use the jade roller in the morning, but honestly, I normally do it at nighttime. I will link the jade roller that I got from Amazon. It's really cute. It's really like pink jade, and it's really been working well. I also use the Gusha, you know what I'm talking about, the little stone rock that's kind of like oval. I use that actually for my neck because I have a lot of knots in my neck because I have scoliosis, so that also helps me, and I kind of like involve that in my skincare routine while I'm doing that. The Gusha really saves my life and helps me. After doing face wash and jade rolling, I will normally moisturize and sunscreen. My sunscreen is in my moisturizer. If I feel like it, I'll put some makeup on my eye or something. I'm not too crazy about makeup. That's my skincare routine, and as I said, skincare is personal to everyone. Everyone has a skincare journey that they have that's very personal to them, with their preferences and the type of skin that they have. Last thing to do in your productive morning routine is to take a nice cold shower. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't take my showers cold. I don't think I've ever taken a cold shower. I mean, I think I have in the past when it's like massive heat out, but willingly taking a cold shower in the morning, that cannot be me. Like, maybe one day I'll build my tolerance to doing that, and I know it's really good for you and it's better than a hot shower. But showering is good enough for me. If I worked out in the morning, etc., I feel refreshed to take a shower. I don't have to always wash my hair, etc., and I'm ready to start the day. The shower at the end of all that really feels like that separation between the morning routine and the rest of the day, because it's like the last thing that I do. Obviously, when I'm showering, I won't touch my face because I like literally just did my skincare routine, so it'll be mostly like a body shower just to like get me ready for the day. That's my video on the 15 morning routine ideas for a productive morning and day, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some inspiration in it, and I also really want to know, what do you do in your mornings? How do you have a productive morning routine? I would also love to know if you need any help in how to wake up early, because I could make a separate video about that. Like I said, I have a blog post on it. And let me know if any of the blog posts that I've mentioned or that I have down below, if you would like to have them as a video format. So as I said, everything mentioned in this video will be linked down below. I hope you have a productive day and a productive morning routine if you incorporate any of these ideas. I will see you on the next shelf.